asked me in my cheating video if I wasn't afraid of domestic violence as a result of my actions. And the answer is no, because I'm going to tell you my domestic violence experience. When I was 32, I took out my IUD because it was 10 years old, and every 10 years you have to replace your copper IUD. Went to the doctor, they swapped it out for me. When I came home, my daughter's father said, "Oh, I really want to talk to you. I really think that I want to have a baby." And I go, "Okay." At the time, that thought was nowhere in my mind. Like, I did not want a baby, but I didn't want a baby either. Like, it wasn't something that I was intentional about. And I expressed as much. In the following days, he became very naggy, very complaining. He started complaining that, oh, you know, he doesn't have any children. I have children. It's not fair that he doesn't have any children. He's not with anybody else. So how would he ever have the opportunity to become a father? Two of the people that I hung out with and I would babysit their kids, and both of them was little girls. And I started like really playing the idea in my head of having a daughter. So he keeps on nagging and nagging and nagging, and then as a people pleaser, like the people closest to you have the ability to like wear down your defenses. I play it in my head. I give myself a pros and cons list, and I said, you know what? I would like to see if I could have a daughter. Worst case scenario, I get along with his family. I could still be good by myself if I have to take care of my baby by myself. So, okay. I go back to the doctor, remove the new IUD that they just inserted, and we try for a baby. I want to say, like, probably within the next 30 days, like, he slowly was withdrawing. Like, something was happening with his personality. I'll be honest. I didn't really notice it at the time because I had a friend that we would be on the phone like morning, noon, and night. I'm talking about almost 24 hours a day, with the exception of the time when we were sleeping, we would be on the phone. She would always like call me with some type, any inconvenience, any little nuisance that was happening in her life, like any problems, any person that irritated her. She was just like, we were constantly on the phone, like chit-chapping, yapping, gossiping, and me listening to her complain and me playing the devil's advocate. That occupied a lot of my time. Back then, it took me a little bit longer to notice certain things, but I did notice that like around after 30 days, like he was getting a little bit withdrawn. When it got to the point in the pregnancy where it was past termination, he came to me and he said, you know, I've been thinking, and I think maybe I might want to be single. So when the lease is up, you know, I think that I'm going to get an apartment on my own. And like, I could help you, like, if you want me to help you get an apartment. I just looked at him and I said, okay. And I left the bedroom and I went to the living room and I called my friend and I told her what transpired. She says to me, well, I could move down there. Like, if anything, I could move down there. I could find a new job down there and we could just live together. Like, it's no problem. I had a plan. But it was like, I was highly irritated. You came to me with the scheme that Todd set up. Shut everything down in me. Like, any compassion, any feelings that I had for him, like, it shut it. Like, everything was shut all the way down. Like, I didn't care about nothing. I didn't care whether he lived or breathed. Time is going, you know, we find out the sex of the baby. She's a girl. At least that's a silver lining. Like, the only reason I did it was because I wanted a little girl and I'm getting my little girl. So I'm happy. He's going to all the appointments with me, but at each appointment, like, he's sitting there, like, after he told me, like, I stopped engaging with him. Like, I stopped having conversations with him. I stopped talking to him. I'm going in the bathroom to change my clothes. I'm not changing in front of him, basically giving him the silent treatment. Like, I'm not having any conversation because there's no conversation to be had. He starts walking around like he's a sad puppy, almost as if he's waiting for me to tell him everything is okay or make him feel better, as if he's not the one that initiated the problem. As it's getting closer to when we need to move out, I think to myself, why do I have to uproot my life, uproot my kids, inconvenience myself, when the reason why I'm attached to this man is because he came and brought me this idea and I agreed to it under the guise of we're in a relationship, and then you change your mind like you were ordering food. I should not have to suffer. I should not have to be inconvenienced. Knowing how gullible he is and how susceptible he is to his ego, after one doctor's appointment, my doctor was this Jamaican doctor. He took him to the side and said something to him that I don't know what he said to him, but I know, like, when he came out, he was looking real sad and real shameful. I went to him and I was like, what's your problem? And he just looked at me like, because he's moping around. And he's like, well, I don't know, because I've just been feeling like I've not been feeling like myself. I think I'm depressed. I don't know. And I said, you know what? I think you may be depressed. I think that becoming a father has triggered your abandonment issues because your dad abandoned you. Maybe you should call your dad and have a conversation with your dad so you could figure out your feelings. And he goes, you know what? Yeah, I think that's what it is. That night, he called his father and he asked his father why, when he divorced his mother, that he never came back around. His father is like stumbling over his words, and then he gives him the original deadbeat excuse, like, oh, I think you need to have that conversation with your mother. For what? He's asking you. Now that he feels that, oh, all is forgiven, he's gotten away with this scandalous act, I convinced him to move us to a bigger apartment. My plan was to finish graduate school, which I was in at the time. And once I finished graduate school and I got a better job, making more money, then I would go move into my place on my own. We move into the new apartment. He's on top of the world. He's playing Family Guy on social media. He's doing all the things. He's posting. He's calling everybody excited. He's acting larger than life. I still don't care. I have zero consideration for his feelings, his thoughts, his existence. I just wanted to move in a bigger apartment so I could buy my time until I get my degree and I get a better job and I could skedaddle. While we're in this apartment, there was one day that we would sit on the couch watching TV, and he kind of pinched my arm because I was on my phone. And when I turned to look at him, he's grinning. And I said, stop that. I go back to my phone, he pinches my arm again, and I say, stop fucking doing that. He's still laughing like it's a joke. He goes one more time to do it, and I slap him. This is when he realizes, oh, okay, I can't do that and get away with it. That's a test. Anytime someone starts like hitting you or pushing you or doing little things and they're pretending like it's a game, they're trying to test you. They're trying to test your reaction. They're trying to gauge your reaction to see how far that they're going to go. We had moved into the new apartment August. My due date was in September. Because it's his first kid, I did ask him, do you want to have a baby shower? I don't like baby showers, but I understand some people like baby showers. The apartment complex that we lived in, they had a lovely clubhouse that had a nice pool outside. The ambience was beautiful. We could have just decorated something nice. He says no, he doesn't want to have a baby shower. That's fine with me. Cool. Of course, when there's a baby shower, who needs to show up? Me. I go on about my day. From August to December, he says to me, because he thinks that everything is all peaches and cream, oh, after we have the baby, maybe next year we can try again for our son. I said, is it crack? He looks at me confused because I was serious. I wanted to know if it was crack. He drops it. We move on. Closer to my due date, in November, my friend called me and told me, hey, I think he's trying to throw a surprise baby shower for you. I'm not sure what's going on because like he wouldn't necessarily talk to me about the details, but I did give him a list of all your friends that you're close to. But I'm not sure about like the plan or everything. I'm just going to give you a heads up. He also asked me if I like a ring because he was thinking about proposing to you at the baby shower. Now, anybody who knows me knows I love me a good hood jam, but I hate ghetto activities. So I was disgusted. I was, coupled with everything that transpired, I was disgusted because the answer was going to be no. Fast forward, I'm going to come to the baby shower. My friend comes down from New York. She gives me a beautiful halo braid. I'm glowing as always. I have this beautiful dress on. I'm on my way to said baby shower. He comes from wherever the location is. He doesn't allow us to drive. He comes to drive us. Red flag. Because what's the problem? You could have given her the address. If you didn't want me to know the address, you could have just given her the address and let her drive. Why did you come to get us? But there was a reason for that. We get to the place. It's a house in Deerfield Beach. I walk in. He asks her like to stay behind. I walk in. It's like like an antiquated house. It's not even a nice Airbnb. It's like just a regular like somebody's living room. It's a long table like with place settings like family style, like we're about to have a family dinner, like we're about to have a family dinner at Olive Garden. I look around like at the decorations. It's tacky, it's ugly. It's not what I would have envisioned for myself if I would have thrown it in the clubhouse that we had in our apartment complex. The ambiance, the aesthetics would have looked way better. And anyone who knows me knows I love a good party and I don't play about the looks. I look at my friend Kiki because that's the first person whose eye I caught, because she could see on my face because I can't hide my feelings. She looks at me like a deer in headlights. Prior to my arrival, she had called her mom and told her mom, Ty gonna be pissed when she get here. My friend knows me well enough that to know that that was unacceptable. Why didn't you? I start having a panic attack. So I go to the bathroom. I hear my friend come knock on the door and she's like, Tanya, you okay? Tanya, you okay? I open the door to let her in because at this point, like I'm in a full-blown panic attack. I'm having anxiety and I have heart palpitations. I'm hyperventilating. We had closed the door. His uncle opened the door, like we hear a little rustling. He opens the door like, oh, everything okay? You guys okay? Because he had already started drinking, whatever. We get out of the bathroom and go to the room because we thought he wanted to use the bathroom. He comes like he want to have a conversation, like he wants to talk about something. He said something about, oh, like, you know, I told him if he want to have a party or he want to have family together, he don't got to do all of this. And I said, yeah, absolutely right. Like, because I told him like this wasn't necessary. He get offended. He's like, oh, you don't want to be here with us. You think you better than us. I have a good woman at home and I have another good woman over there. So, and they don't act like this and they both appreciative. So my friend steps in because like, I'm in shock. Like, what are we talking about? Mind you, I'm still in a panic attack. I'm still having an anxiety attack and I'm still having a panic attack. So my friend stepped in and was like, no, like get out. You can't talk to her like that. You get out. His grandmother comes to like, oh, what's okay? His uncle tells her, oh, she don't want to be here with us. So she start getting an attitude and I can hear them. They go sit in the living room and they start having an attitude. I'm still hyperventilating. My friend Kiki, I asked her, I said, hey, can you drop me home? Because of course he dropped me. In retrospect, he had been teeing his family up. Because during the first 3 years of us being together, I'm very close with his mother. She calls me every day. She talks to me about everything, about her life, everything. To the point he starts getting jealous and he calls me by her name Junior. So Martha Junior is what he's calling me. She's even upset. Like everybody's upset. And as my pregnancy progressed, the phone calls started to slow down and like her conversations with me would be short. I now know that he started a smear campaign way before this event. So all of these people are teed up based on the information he's provided for them. Once I realized while I'm there, I realized like, oh, you've been talking to your family about me. Oh, it's clipped for you. It was already clipped for you. Oh, but now it's super crispy clipped for you. I'm leaving. He comes with his big puppy dog eyes, like he's a victim. Like I don't know what's going on. What happened? Like I don't know what's going on. As if he did not set up the entire incident. As if he didn't turn all these people against me. And now he doesn't understand what's the matter. Like I don't know what's going on. So I left. When I left, maybe an hour or 2 hours went by. I remember it was late. I got a text message on my phone from him saying, oh, I think I'm going to stay here tonight with my family because, you know, my dad's in town and my uncle is in town. So I'm going to stay here for my family. I told my family, like, you know, you get anxiety and, like, you know, some things can be overwhelmed for you. And my nephew said, like, he understands because he gets anxiety too. Oh, so now you sitting gossiping about me, telling people that I'm crazy. Noted. So I respond back, fuck you, suck my dick. Because who you playing with? He doesn't respond to that. He doesn't come home. The next day, it's about 6 o'clock. I'm trying to do my homework. You know, the discussion post is due. He doesn't come home till the next day after I send that text message. The next day at 6 o'clock, I have a discussion post due. So, I'm trying to hurry up and get my discussion post in before 11:59 because, of course, I'm a procrastinator. He comes in from wherever he was, and I'm in the living room. I'm on the couch. I'm typing. My kids are in their room. My friend is like somewhere in the kitchen or someplace, or she's in the room with the kids. He goes, "Oh, can I talk to you for a second in the room?" And I said, "I'm busy because I'm typing on my computer." He was like, "Can I talk to you for a second?" I said, "No." He comes towards how the computer is just like on my lap, like it's not like I don't have it, it's just on my lap, and puts his hand in front of the monitor and basically knocks the computer off my lap. So I look up at him. He starts going off. Oh, because you disrespected me. You text me, suck my dick. Because you and your friend is in here laughing at me. You and your friend is in here talking about me. You think you're better than me. And he's going off. He then gets in my face and he's like, "Fuck you." Now, nobody has ever spoken to me like this in my life. I'm, of course, retorting like, "Fuck you. Get the fuck out of my face." And he's just going. I get up. I go to the bathroom because I feel stressed and overwhelmed. And I get my car keys because I need some space. I need some air. He's 6'2", and at the time, he was the shape of an ice cream cone because during the duration of us being together, I cooked a lot. He started looking like Gru. He was 6'2" and looked like Gru. So Gru gets in front of me while I'm in the bathroom, like putting my clothes on because I'm about to go for a ride because I need some space. I have my keys in my hand. He's blocking the door frame so I can't get out. And I'm like, "Move." He's not moving. He got the narcissistic smirk on his face. I'm yelling, "Move." He's not moving. My friend hears me say move, so she comes because she's on the other side of the apartment. She comes and she's like, "Move out the way. Like, why are you standing there? Move out the way." So then he moves. I go downstairs. I get in my car. I go for a ride so I could calm down. I probably rode around for like maybe 30 minutes. She calls to check on me. I tell her I'm fine. I come back because my kids have never been in a situation like that. I've never been in a situation like that. And I'm pregnant. I'm big pregnant. I'm almost about to give birth. So I can't even do anything about it. So I come back. I get on the desktop that's in our room to finish my assignments. He's in our closet. He comes out the closet with the sweetest voice, sweet as pie, as he's so innocent, like, "Oh, are you ready to talk now?" So I looked at him and I said, "You're trying to kill me." He looked like as if that was not the assessment that wasn't the response he was waiting for. But that was my assessment of what transpired. Because what other explanation could it be other than an evil person who's trying to destroy you? He takes a pause. He walks out the room, goes on the living room, sits on the couch, and he calls someone on speakerphone, one of his homeboys. He starts talking, "Oh, because I try to throw a party for her, and she's ungrateful, and she doesn't like this, and I do this for her, and I do that, and this and this, and I take care of her, and I take care of the kids, and I'm a good guy, and I do everything, and it's like nothing that I do is good enough." So his friend is on the phone like, saying like, "She's pregnant, she's hormonal, she's emotional. Like, what are you going on about? What are you talking about?" And he just keeps on going on and on and on trying to get this guy on his side. His friend goes, "Where are you?" He goes, "I'm in the house." His friend goes, "Where is she?" He goes, "She's right here." He goes, "Where's her kids?" "Oh, they're here." He said, "They could hear you?" He was like, "Yeah." His friend takes a pause. His friend was like, "Yo, you wrong, man. Like, you dead ass wrong. Like, I don't know what you going through, but whatever this is, ain't it." He gets upset because his friend, he see his friend ain't on his side. That he couldn't turn. I guess the day of spending with his family where he was able to be the victim and have everybody feel like, "Oh my God, like she's doing you so wrong. She's this evil person." Because I've always had this personality. So everybody thinks I'm a bitch. So he was able to be like, "Oh, I'm such a victim and she's such a bitch." And when he saw that his friend wasn't going for it and he couldn't get him on his side, he got off the phone. The next day, he tried to apologize, and I wasn't going for it. Once he realized that his mask was completely off, he told my friend that was with us, oh, cause I was just upset because you guys was in here like talking about me and stuff. So she goes to him, she was like, when we left yesterday, nobody discussed you. Nobody talked about you. Nobody cared. She was in here doing her homework. Nobody was worried about you. You're the one that came in and acting crazy. Everything I know about you is what you showed me. He just sat there in silence because he couldn't walk anything back. He then went to my kids and tried to apologize to them. And my oldest son told me what he said to them was, oh, your mom is just so nonchalant. Like nothing ever bothers her. Nothing get under her skin. Like I just wanted to get like a reaction out of her because I wanted to know that she cared. And that's the only reason that I did that. My kids was also not going for it because I was with my ex-husband for a long time. They've never seen anything like that. So 2 weeks later, I'm scheduled to give birth. My friend and him, we all go to the hospital together. I'm still not talking to him. While we in the hospital room, he's trying to crack jokes with the nurses. He's trying to crack jokes with the doctor. Everybody's irritated and annoyed at him. Like you could visibly see that they don't like him and they are annoyed at him. At some point when I'm pushing, like he comes to my side and he tried to go, oh, you're doing such a good job, baby. And I looked at him like this, because mind you, I'm in the middle of labor. And I looked up to him like this. And then he goes, oh, I love you, Tanya. And I said, get the fuck off me. Once he realized that there wasn't going to be a situation, there wasn't going to be a moment, there wasn't going to be an incident where my heart softened, he sat back down and he kind of started sulking like a toddler. I finished giving birth. My friend gets up to leave because it's pretty late when I gave birth. She went home to check on my sons. He's sitting there with me. I'm exhausted. I haven't eaten in like almost 24 hours. So I asked him if he could go get me some Rasta pasta. He was like, oh, I think that they're closed and I don't think that they're open. Then he leaves shortly. He's like, okay, I'm going to go home to take a shower. My friend was so shocked because she took an Uber home. He came in the door probably like 5-10 minutes after her. And she asked him, she said, oh, I thought you was staying with her. That's why I left. And he lied and said, oh, I waited until they took her up to the room. I went up to the room with her and she fell asleep. So I left when she fell asleep. A lie. While he went home with her, she told me the entire time when he went back, he was trying to like win her over because he already realized he has already ruined his character, ruined his reputation. So now he's trying to sway her and win her back and try to justify all of his behavior. She's not going for it. And he's getting aggravated and irritated. She's not going for it. He posts on Facebook, oh, the bitter single friends are always trying to ruin a good relationship. What good relationship? I spend the 3 days in the hospital with my baby. He comes, gets us, we go home. My friend stayed probably like a week with us, and then she flew back to New York because she was down here a pretty long time. After that, I'm not talking to him. Like, I'm still not talking to him. Like, I'm just there. Like, I'm doing what the old West Indian couples do. Like, it's like two passing ships in the middle of the night. One day I took the baby for a walk. I come back. I see empty envelopes with like the cards from the baby shower. And it's opened. And when I look inside it, it's evident that there was money in there, but the envelopes are open. So I said, what you want me to do with these envelopes? What you put them on my side of the bed for? He didn't have a response. He then came home probably 7 days after I gave birth, like with this big 70-inch Samsung TV. And at the time, those TVs was about like $1,000, $1,500. He stole the baby shower money to buy a TV not spend the money that the people give. And like the people that came, like, so his mother's friend who are pretty well off, like they send cars with money. His uncle like works, like he's one of those oil workers that work out in the sea, like, so like he had a substantial amount of money from the cars. And I asked him when I saw the new TV, I said, did you pay the rent? Because I didn't pay the rent. Like I would just check to make sure the rent got paid, but he paid the rent and he paid like the light bill and the utilities in like the apartment. He said, oh, don't worry about it. Okay. I said, I told you that I wanted a swing for the baby. You know, I wanted one of those little swings. I don't remember what kind of swing it was, but like, you know, like where the babies could fall asleep in it. I told him to go buy one of those swings. So I told him, I said, I told you to buy a swing for the baby. I told him, if tomorrow come and my baby don't have a swing, you ain't gonna have a TV. And he said, okay. Tomorrow came and my baby did have a swing, but he didn't put the swing together. He asked my son at the time to put the swing together. And when I heard him ask my son to put the swing together, I was like, no. Because the same way you set up that TV, the same way you could put this swing together. I put the baby down to sleep. I got up. I put on my sweatpants. I put 2 hoodies on. I put my sneakers on. I got the hammer out of the closet. I set it on the computer desk that was right here. The entrance to the bedroom is like right here. It's a little hallway. I could see the couch. The TV is closest to me on this wall. He's sitting across there on the couch. After I got dressed, I walked out and I said, didn't I tell you that if my baby don't have a swing, you're not gonna have a TV? He looks up at me like he looks up at me like he don't give a damn what I said. Allegedly, according to him and the police report, I pushed the TV and the TV fell. I recall walking briskly past the 70-inch TV on a TV stand that's fit for a 63-inch TV, and the wind from the force of my movement knocked it over. He jumps up like he's about to rush me. I put my hands up because I'm ready to box. And I must have been too excited because I said, put your motherfucking hands on me. As soon as I said that, he looked at me and assessed me and then sat back down and then got on the phone. I assumed that he was calling someone, like one of his homegirls, because when we moved down here, every job he went to, like he started collecting like all these friends. Even though he would always talk about them, they was always ghetto, they was always hood rats, they always was this and that, but somehow he kept company with them. So I'm assuming that he done lost his mind and he's calling somebody over to come over to do something about it because he didn't want to go toe to toe. Maybe like 3-4 minutes go by. I hear at the door. I jump up excited. I'm talking to my friend on the phone because we lived on the 2nd floor, and I was like, whoever is stupid enough to come over here is getting kicked down them stairs, because I had all this anger built up inside of me. So I wanted to dance. Like I wanted to get busy. Like I needed to get that out. And he didn't give me the opportunity to get it out because he backed down. 4 police officers walk in. It's important to note that at the time those 4 police officers walked in, I knew those police officers professionally because for the type of work that I did, I interacted with law enforcement all of the time. They walk in, they see the TV on the floor, they go, hey, what's going on here? He goes, she knocked my TV down, and I want her to leave. They go, whoa, whoa, whoa. So I said, yeah, that's not how the law works. They go, okay, ma'am, it's okay. We got it. It's okay. One of the officers, I know, he comes stand by me. He said, yo, what's up, T? You okay? I said, I'm good. The other officer is talking to him. So I'm sitting there by the one that's standing to me, and we having our little chit chat. And I can see he's looking at us chit chatting, and he's getting pissed. He goes, I pay all the bills, I pay all the rent, I pay everything in here, and the kids can stay, but I want her to leave. So the officer that was talking to him, being the smart ass, says, okay, my wife live at my house and I pay the mortgage. He ain't like that response. He goes, well, her kids seen it. Her kids see that the shit she did it. My oldest son come out because when the TV first fell, my oldest son came out. I was like, Mommy, are you okay? And I was like, yeah, baby, go back in your room. So they asked my oldest son like, oh, did you see what happened? And my son was like, no. They asked my youngest son, did you see what happened? And he was like, I ain't see nothing. I ain't hear nothing. He gets super mad. He puffs up like Mrs. Puff. He gets super upset. He was like, because they seen it and they're lying. They know that she did it. Okay. They my kids. What you thought? He gets irritated. So basically, they go, did he hit you? I said no. They asked him, did she hit you? He said no. They was like, all right, well, be easy. And they left. They go downstairs and they start bullshitting with each other in their squad cars. So he's sitting on the couch and I said, you bitch ass nigga. You mean to tell me all the shit you done did? Now all of a sudden you scary and you want to call the police? He's going to go and whisper bitch under his breath like real quiet. So I said, your mama's a bitch. He goes, so is yours. I said, your mama's a bitch, your granny with her 3 strands of hair on her head is a bitch, and your sister's a bitch. And you're a bitch too. All you do is hang around bitches. That's why you emotional. You must have got your period. I said, lang susus mamau, lang pachak mamau. That's why you don't got no mans in them. That's why you don't keep no homeboys. That's why niggas don't want to be around you, because you're a pussy. Because I should have let you die in the hospital, because I saved him from when his appendix burst. He didn't want to go to the hospital. And when I took him to the hospital, the doctor said, had I not bring him there, he would have died of sepsis. All the solid dudes that's in the ground and here your bitch ass is walking around. I said, that's why your daddy can't stand you. That's why your daddy don't want to be around you. Your daddy's ashamed of you and he's embarrassed. I tell you that I read that man for filth. The next day I went to the rent office and I had my girl Ariana fill out the roommate release, and I told her to call him and make him sign it, because if I bring it to him, he's going to get egotistical and not sign it. She got him to sign it and text me like, girl, I got it done. I told them that I was going to move out like on the 1st of the following month. I moved out in the middle of the month. When men know that you're about to leave them, all of a sudden they magically want to keep a schedule and come home at consistent times so they can watch what you're doing. His schedule was at 3 o'clock every Saturday he would come back home. So I knew I had to move before 3 o'clock on Saturday. My mistake was not getting a big enough truck, so we had to go back and get like a few things. I had the pleasure of being able to walk back into the apartment and it was completely bare and empty, except for like ugly bar stools that he had purchased that I did not like. He was just standing in the kitchen just looking over the living room like this, like just looking over. He thought I was by myself and he thought he was about to argue with me. He was like, oh, where's the baby swing? Because I bought the baby swing. Where's the baby swing? I said, what you going to do? Get your fat ass in it to swing? Starts to like, say something. And my friend husband came in like, oh, what's up, man? He shuts up. He see me and he shuts up, right? Because what he don't know is my friend husband told me downstairs, if he get out of pocket, I'm put hands and feet on him. I said, do what you got to do. So he already came in ready to go. So when he was like, what's up, man? He was just like, and then he was like, oh, I just want to know where you're going to be. Oh, that wasn't what you were just talking. I said, I'm going to be at my brother's house. Come find me at my brother's house. Go talk to my brother. Because he acted like he never wanted to go see my brother about anything. During the course of the pregnancy, he kept on asking me, like, oh, you talk to your brother? Because my brother wasn't coming around. My brother wasn't coming around because my brother told me he did not like him and he's not going to disrespect the man in his own house. He's not going to come around, which was understandable. And I totally get that. I moved the rest of my stuff out. He ain't had nothing in here. He ain't nothing but his ugly furniture and stuff. I had left like a paper towel and like toilet paper. So when I came back in to get the rest of the stuff, I seen that he had took some of my toilet paper and put it in the bedroom closet, in the master bedroom closet, like at the top of the closet, and took some of my paper towel. Baby, I went in there and I took that right on back. I left, got into my new apartment, and I'm living happily in my new apartment. I try to make an informal arrangement so he could still see the baby. There was one time that I dropped the baby off to him, and he was supposed to meet me at the police station to drop her off. I go to the police station, he's not answering his phone, and the time is just going by, and he's not answering. So I drive back to the apartment. I see that his car is not even there. I go knock on the door. He still ain't, all he had was a playpen in there, and he still had no furniture, and I got joy out of that. He gets a little snippy because he sees that I see that this shit still, like, without all my decor in here, it look crazy in here. After I get my baby that time, I never let him have her again, because I'm sitting there at the police waiting, calling you. You're ignoring me. You knew you didn't have a car. Like, you gave the car to whoever you gave the car to. You could have simply said, hey, you could just come and pick her up, because I don't have a way to get over there to you. He's like sending me messages. He's trying to smooth things over. He's sending me, oh, happy Mother's Day, or happy Easter, happy Valentine's. Like, I'm getting all the happy messages. I think it was about April I filed for child support, and my friend at the time told me, you know, as soon as you file for child support, he's gonna start like acting up, which was true. We ended up going to court. He hired an attorney. I didn't care, because I already knew, like, I really didn't care about sharing custody. What I cared about was the ability to make decisions for my baby. So we go to court, we go to the mediator. I have another video about that. We set out the terms and all that stuff. The court at the time determined that he owed me $5,000 for the duration, for the months that I had the baby, and he was not providing me with any financial care. It's important to note that this man had about $50,000 in his account at the time. That's how he was paying for this paid attorney. This man still got an attitude. He's dragging his feet. He's still about paying me this little $5,000. When I tell you, nothing in this man's life has gone right. And I said out loud one day, as long as he owed me that money, any money that touches his hand is gonna go through his fingers like sand. You know, I've watched Hocus Pocus a lot, so maybe I'm a little witchy. When I tell you, since then, nothing that man has acquired has ever stuck. Like, he can't keep nothing. If I would have forgiven him after slapping the computer out of my hand, yelling in my face, blocking my way, the next thing that was coming, he would have think that it was okay to put his hands on me. You can't predict domestic violence, but what you can do when you do see the signs, before it gets to the physical part, walk away, or learn how to assess people when you meet them for abusive traits, for you to be able to walk away before it even starts, before a relationship even starts. What I can say is, like, nothing that you do can ever make a good man decide to be a bad man.